All right, I've talked to you all about saving for print size and to start your documents at 300 per inch, and that's what I've done with this. And my Arial space piece would make a nice little print, and I think it's ready to go. But the other thing that you need to do, that I've asked you to make your own blogs, and you should be ready to start putting things on blogs today with your finished pieces. And so we're going to come back and look at our image size here before we start. And I'm at 14 by 14 at 300 resolution, and that would make a nice little print on my printer. But to get ready to save for web, the first thing I'm going to do is change the image size to 7 or 8, that I don't want it to be any bigger than that on my website because it's going to cause problems. So now I have the width at 8 by 8, and now I'm going to change my resolution to a screen size so that it's made to be viewed on the screen rather than viewed as a print. And that means I'm changing the resolution down to 72. That's what you're going to see in all your web documents. And I'll click OK. And the main thing you need to do is to set up a saving protocol. That's what it looks like at 100% on my screen, which is just perfect. But it's so easy to accidentally save over the top of your print one, and then you won't have it. So do not name it the same as your original. And so we're going to go File to Export, because if we save as a JPEG, it creates a lossy file, and sometimes when we put it on the internet, it's not going to look right, that there's something weird that happens when you save over and over as a JPEG because of that lossy file. So we'll go to Export and pull down to Save for Web. Now, that original piece is called Aerial Perspective, and I just need to make sure that when I close this document that I don't save it when I close it, that I export it. And I don't know what it's doing here. File, Export, Save for Web. Now there it is. You can save for web in two different ways. You can save it as a JPEG, which is going to read it as areas of the same color will be as a chunk of the same color, or you can save it as a GIF, which you can see that has now made stripes on it, which I don't really care for because we used the gradients. So I know right away when I've looked at both that I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Now it's at high. I probably won't want to have it at maximum because of size. If I move it up to maximum over here, I can see that it is 93.87 kilobytes, and that's not terrible, but very high would bring me down to, and I don't want anything that's people are going to copy and print either. If I go down to very high, it's 44.27 kilobytes, and it's fairly small, and it doesn't look like it's terribly pixelized, so I think that's okay. So I'm going to now click Save, and now here's the important thing so that you can always find your file. It's just Aerial Perspective JPEG, and I suggest that you always put web somewhere in your title so that you know that that's your document for your blog. So I'm going to start by putting web in front of Aerial Perspective and click Save. Now your most important part then is to not save this. So once you've saved for web and you've saved it as a print document first, I recommend you close that right away so you don't forget that that's what you did, that you changed the size, and then say don't save. And that way when I open them up now, I can go File to Open. There's the Aerial Perspective document, and apparently where I saved for web did not save it on my drive, so I'll have to go find where it is. And I can look at the image size, and it should still be 14 by 14 at 300 dots per inch. Since I can't see where the other one's saved. If I go right up here to Finder, there's the one that I just saved as aerialperspective.psd. But if I click on Recents, shows my videos. It's not showing where my web one is. I can go to maybe desktop, that's where it is. Click that. And I'm looking for the one called Web Aerial Perspective, and that's where it saved it, web on my desktop. And now I'm opening my blog, which I have sitting here. And I can make a new post, and this will be your first post of whichever one that you have now saved for web. And it's very easy on your computer then, since you've made them on your computer, to click the one that looks like a photograph and go to upload and choose your file. And I'm looking on my desktop because that's where I said I saved it. All right, and then I'm going to click on that picture till I have a blue line around it. And then I'm ready to add it to my page. And this is my finished AERIAL aerial perspective space assignment. All right, and then you need to click publish, or if you just save it, if you want to type more, make a draft, you can do that. But if you publish it, you could always go back and edit that and add to it or change that. And then I'm clicking view blog. And there it is. So there's my directions on how to do the aerial perspective. I will also put up directions on how I made the fog.